to MexCan.
Young perceptions of the world.
Hi, everybody. In our podcast today, we are going to be talking about university. So, as you know, I'm Jamin and...
I'm Alan. Hello.
Yeah, so we are ready to do our second podcast.
Yeah, second episode.
And I have a few questions. Yes.
Wait. Before you go to that part, you need to mention what we're gonna discuss. Bring it up. Come on.
Well, today we are going to be talking about universities. So
Exactly.
We have a few questions prepared, and I will begin by asking Alan a few questions just so that you can get an idea of what we study. And there are a lot of differences between university in Canada and university in Mexico. And because it's back to school season, we thought it would be a good topic for today.
Yeah, no, and there are like huge differences between Canada, like education in Canada and education in Mexico. So that's why she picked that topic, you know. But yeah, it's a very huge topic. So try to mention the main things and main ideas so we can like get the most out of it, you know. All right.
Yes, and actually, tomorrow is my last day of university for the spring and summer session. So all summer long, I have been taking university classes in order to complete my degree a little bit faster. So my summer vacation has actually been really short. My sister, for example, hasn't had school since March, but ever since I got back from Mexico, I have been doing all of my English classes. And that means I will have 1 week of summer vacation before my actual university classes for the fall session start.
That's a lot of details.
Okay. Well, yes. Okay, so, Alan, what are you studying?
Well, I'm doing engineering. When I get when people ask me this kind of question, I always say that I do engineering or aeronautical engineering, but my degree is not actually called like that. It has a different name. That's a very long name, so I always try to like cut it and make it like more simple. But it's actually called electronic and aircraft system controlling engineering. So as you can tell, it is a very long name, but yeah, that's what I'm currently doing. Yeah.
I have to admit that I did not know that was the official name of your degree.
Well, no, I've
when
said
people
it
ask
before.
me what you study, yeah. Well, it's hard.
But
it's
it is a very
mouthful
long
to
name, so-
remember.
I mean,
It is.
probably anybody could forget about it after a few minutes of hearing the name, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what
Well,
else?
when people ask me what you study, I just say aeronautical engineering, and they're always
it's
quite
more simple to
impressed.
say
So, yeah.
That, but yeah, I mean, it's related to that. It's part of the aeronautical industry, but I do all the electronic stuff and yeah, like avionics. Avionics is a term for those people who fix and work the electronic systems of an aircraft. But I do like kind of like the engineering of it. I mean, it's just a little bit of difference between those
That's
things.
really interesting. Yeah, I really like that. It's interesting because Alan is so much more of like the science, the math.
Yeah.
He loves
I
those
love that
kinds
kind
of
of stuff,
things.
yeah.
And yeah,
But Jamie,
it's
no.
cool because for me,
It's totally different.
I like to read. I'm more of my degree is English, so I kind of need to read a lot for my degree because
Which I consider
mostly
very cool.
I write essays. Yeah, I read books and write essays.
You know she just mentioned something very important and that I consider very important and that I just came to notice a few weeks ago. She does a lot of essays, but not just because of her degree, but I mean I could notice that in foreign countries like Germany, like Canada and United States, they do a lot of essays, no matter the degree or no matter which education you're taking, like if it's high school or university, they do a lot of essays. I mean, I've seen it in movies. I know it's not like the best idea that you could get of something, but I know that because of Jamin too. as I said, not only because of the degree she's doing, but I mean, people out there could say that they could accept that they do a lot of essays, and that is something that we did not do here in Mexico. Seriously.
Yeah, you haven't written
No,
that many,
we don't
like only
really
2.
write a lot of essays, and I consider that is something that we should improve here in our country. You know, get students to write more, you know, efficiently, and yeah, I just think that is something very important. You know, just to know how to write and share your ideas in a formal way, not an informal way, but just like a formal way. You know.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. However, on the flip side of things, I think in Canada, or at least with my university, I mean, I can't speak for all universities in Canada, but at least where I'm studying, I feel like we need more hands-on activities like what you do. All I do is read, and write
Well,
essays.
I mean, it is.
The way,
that's how
like,
your degree is, like, you know. You
yeah,
have to
of
read.
course,
It's
but,
English.
you know,
That's the way I see it, though.
of course, no, yeah.
You know what?
It's
Look,
true.
even for my degree that is engineering, you would say that, oh man, you're gonna be like doing a lot of hand-on stuff, you know? But no, it's not true. The first year's a lot of like math and physics and calculations and go to the classroom and pay attention, go back home and study. But no, there's another kind of degree that here in Mexico we call it like technician. And
Oh, cool.
those kind of people, what they study, it's like 100% practice. Like they don't really study a lot of theory. They do a lot of practices. But us, we're like
and what does that lead to?
we're the opposite. We do more theory than practice.
Wow.
It is kind of weird. Yeah, I kind of dislike that because I would really like my degree to be practice from the beginning. You know, getting the students to practice and get their hands working on something from the beginning, even if they don't have like a lot of knowledge to do so. But there are things that you could do from the beginning. Like I've seen it myself. But yeah, what do you think about it?
No, I totally agree. I think there's a fine line between balancing hands-on and more of the like essay writing, independent like reading and then writing area. And I think that my degree is like too much one way and your degree might be a little bit more like it's
But
I
you're
mean,
doing
we're
English.
here
I mean,
to study.
what kind of
Yeah.
like things you could do? Like what do you saying? You
Even
know?
just reports. I don't know exactly, but I just feel like everything I do is just, it revolves around essays, and I am aware of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually like writing essays. I've gotten quite good at it.
Yeah, no, I like how you
because
do
I've
those.
done it so many times. But I suppose it would be nice to do like maybe like a character study, like you could talk more about a character or even use technology, because especially now with everything going on and in the world and so much of like our university stuff is online, I feel like it would be nice if professors could incorporate more assignments that involve technology, because I really like video editing and things like that.
Yeah,
so
you're
if I
right.
could have, like,
You know, I
don't know,
do
just,
agree
like,
with that.
Even just one assignment like that, yeah,
And
I
it's
think
not
it'd
something
be interesting.
that is happening with your degree. Like, I mean, I'm coming back to my country, and I look at it, and I see just like few teachers updating their way of teaching. You know, they're using technology, taking advantage of that in a good way. I mean, just to improve the way they teach, so students can learn in a better way. And you know, using all of the stuff that we have in our hands right now, you know, using the internet and, you know, all that stuff, the internet things that could be applied with education. But yeah, it's something really hard right now. I see teachers, my dad is a teacher. I mean, my dad worked at University of this state. He works at some university, and I seen friends of him that they don't like using technology. They just think that it's not their thing. But I just think that's too arcade, you know, like archaic, like too old, like they don't
Archaic,
arcade, like they don't want to change their minds. But I just think that's the way it should be, like, you know. But yeah, I do
Especially
agree with what you
because they
said.
are trying to connect with younger audiences.
Yeah, I
mean,
know.
in university, you have people of all ages, but I mean, there's no denying that people who are in university right now tend to be very good with technology. So why
Yeah,
not try
exactly,
to adapt
yeah.
it? And yeah, I totally agree. I did have one assignment. It was called digital literature, and I was expecting a lot more
Digital stuff.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I know,
basically,
I know.
It was the same exact thing
Gone
as
through the
any
same
other
thing.
English class. Yeah. Except the topic was it just wasn't what I expected considering it revolved around digital literature. I expected more, I don't know, different characteristics in a class like that, but it was just like any other English class, which was disappointing. So, I don't know. I am looking forward to taking a class. It's an English class, and you get to watch movies and do movie reviews on it.
Wow,
So it's
that's
like
cool.
one of the credits that you can take. Yeah, and I think that that's a really cool way to incorporate technology in with essay writing. At least it kind of just shakes things up a little bit.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Agree with that.
Okay, so thank you. Our next question is, how did you realize what you wanted to study? And I know for you, you have known for quite some time now
Yeah.
what you wanted to study,
Yeah,
whereas
that's a
for
good
me,
question.
I was very unsure.
Yeah, that is whew. Well, I think I need
a
to
loaded
mention
question.
how it all started. Yeah, I remember the first things that I would say that I would study was architecture. When well, my mom is an architect, and she kind of like wanted me to study that, and she started giving me books about architecture, but I didn't even read them, and I was like, Alan, are you sure you want to do that? And then I realized that was not my thing. Then I changed my mind. And I decided to do something called civil engineering, just because it has to do with construction and building, and well, it is an engineer, and I just like those kind of stuff, you know, anything that is related to math, science, and physics, except biology. I totally dislike that, and Jamie knows
Whereas
that.
I like biology.
She made me that time
Biology's
when
the only, yeah.
I hated it. I just hated it. I was in high school and I hated it.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I entered high school, that was the moment when I decided to study something related to aeronautical engineering. And why? Well, when I was a kid, my parents did a lot of trips with us. We traveled by plane a lot. We had the chance, so I think that kind of like
That's so
hit me in a
nice.
good way, and well, stayed in my mind for a very long time. Because I'm gonna tell you something about me. Every single time a plane is flying over, yeah, I always look at the sky and just stare at it and just trying to look at it. And my mom always said, "Oh,
Like a
you're
little
looking at
kid,
it.
it's
You're looking at the
adorable."
plane, Alan." Tell me the plane number, but I'm just like, it's something like making just like a joke, you know. But yeah.
Yeah, but you have loved looking at planes for a long time. Like, I know that when I first met you, you were always excited.
Yeah, I know.
sent him a picture of me on the plane, and he was like, "Send more pictures of the airport. I want to see."
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. Didn't take me that long because I started like I knew that I needed to study something related to math, something about science, and then I look at planes and didn't even know that was a thing. Like studying planes, but then I realized it was a
Yeah,
thing. I
it's
mean,
neat.
I just look at the internet and search some universities that offer some degrees like that here in Mexico, and yeah, I found one in Querétaro, and yeah, I'm studying there right now at UNAC. Yeah, so that's
Very cool.
how it was.
That's really interesting. And I guess for me, I have less of an interesting story because I was in grade 12 and I didn't know what the heck I wanted to study. I considered nursing, but my friend Luel, if you
yeah.
are listening to this, you will know how much we struggled in that class. We would always like talk and gossip in class instead of doing the work because chemistry, chemistry and I do not have
That's how it
chemistry,
is
okay?
like in high school.
Yeah,
even
and I
deeper.
just really wasn't interested in it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do something with it within like the area of languages with writing, and I remember when I was in grade 9, I had a teacher who said, "One day I know that I'm going to see your work published," and those words from my grade 9 English teacher always stayed with me, so that was really nice. But with that being said, I didn't realize that I could just study something like English, because a lot of people kind of expect like you to do something different. And I mean, I'm an online English teacher. I've been teaching for about 5 months now, and it's really cool because I learn a lot about that kind of stuff, so I've already been able to apply it into a job, and yeah, I'm really happy with my decision to study English, and I didn't know that was what I wanted to
Yeah.
do until like 2 months into university.
But you know what?
So nursing, no.
You didn't we didn't struggle like other people. Seriously, I have friends that took a long time to decide what they wanted to study, and here in my
Even
country,
longer than me?
here what? yeah, longer than you. Here my country,
Wow.
that is a huge problem that we have with young people. Oh, sorry for the finger. They don't know what they want to do with their lives. They just don't know, because they were never interested in studying. You know, they didn't have that motivation, and I believe that comes from home. You know, from the family, from the education that their family gives to the child, and then when they get to school, they just find it so boring that they don't get interested in finding something. And when it gets the time to pick a degree, it's just so hard for them that they just decide to run away, you know, escape from that decision.
And they just avoid it completely.
Yeah.
Well, this is very interesting because in Canada, even high school is very different. So it's not just university in Mexico and Canada, it's also high school. In high school, we have to take a variety of classes, at least like
that's
where
true.
I live. But in Mexico, I mean, you can do a better job at explaining it than me. You kind of have to already know what you want to study at an even younger age.
Yeah, I mean, now that you mention high school stuff, I know here in Mexico, in high school, you get to pick certain classes, but the rest of them are just selected by you. You know, it's something that is something you have to take. There are classes you must take in high school, and there are others that are options that you can pick. But these options are like so related to what you want to do in university. In my case, I did computing. I did computing, and I did math. That's what it was called, you know. But there was this other option that you could do biology or administration, things like that, you know. But those are the number of classes that you can pick in high school are not compared. You cannot compare the amount with the classes that you must take here in Mexico, you know. But in Canada, where it's different. Yeah, the whole
thing always confused me.
Yeah.
It does work it's very different here, because when I was in high school, and it still is like this, my sister's going into grade 11, we have certain classes that we must take. Like we must take, for example, 3 maths within high school, and you can take either pre-calculus, calculus, or other kinds of math like that, and you have to take a certain amount of sciences. Yeah,
you don't get to pick like that.
But there's no way that you can actually specialize the way you do there, because I remember there's also, like you guys are actually separated, so like you and your friends are studying completely different things than like the people in other groups, and that to me was mind-boggling.
It gets all crazy. Yeah. But I mean, I can tell like in Canada, you kind of like make group of classes, like you said, some math classes, and then you can pick between all those classes that belong to that group, you know. So that is very different from here. We don't really have things like that here. But I think yours way cooler, you know, just to pick the classes. That's just.
See, I've always been jealous of Mexican schooling, because the thing is, you already learned so much about coding, for example, and you were in high school. And I know here there is no way that you could have studied coding, I'm just using that as an example, as much as you did. So,
sure?
like, we don't get to...
In high school?
Yeah, we don't get... Even though coding, for example, is an option, I mean, I never took it, so I don't really know that much about it, but even with other classes, like, I don't know, like, as you mentioned, like, accounting or whatever you said.
Yeah,
what
accounting.
was that? Like, yeah, that's not even an option, so it's just completely different. It's, yeah, I don't know.
Well, it is just like very different.
It is. Okay, so, I mean, we strayed away from university and started talking about high school, so I guess we should just work our way back to university.
Yeah.
And
we forgot a main topic. University.
I know, but that's okay.
You know, the other day
the next
I was class.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I'm just gonna mention something briefly.
No, go. Yeah.
University comes from the word universal. Did
Really?
you know that? Yeah, learned that.
I did not know
one of my
that.
classes last week.
I feel like as an English major I should know that, but no, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
And it makes sense because it's like universal.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of different topics.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really cool. Oh, wow. Learn something new every day, eh?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Next question
Do you have
then.
any other little like side notes? Okay, so what is the acceptance process like? Because this is like
I know.
100% different night and day.
That is just so tricky, and I mean, like, when I hear that word, to my mind comes like a lot of paperwork. At some universities, it's not like that
A
anymore.
headache.
But that good for them. But there are still universities where you have to send a lot of paper, a lot of files, and but yeah, let me just try to explain a little bit how the process here in Mexico. If you want to study any kind of degree, anything that you want to do, you need to take an exam. There's an exam you have to do. Sometimes you get to do 2 exams, even 3 exams, just to study a degree.
So many.
Yeah. In my case, I had to do 2 different exams. One that was established for my university, but that exam was made by another institution, not my university. And there was another exam.
So was that just to prepare you?
No, not at all.
Sorry, I just
It also
wanted-
counts.
No,
Like
okay.
they grade you, and if you don't get a good grade, you're not in. And
Oh my gosh, I totally would have failed. There's no way I could get into
No, wait.
university.
We keep going. I mean, the second one was made by me. It's made by my university. It is still like that. Yeah. So basically, in my case, the first exam, which is not made by my university, but made by another institution, is basically a lot of knowledge, like from different areas, but it comes with another section. So just think of this exam divided into sections. We have one section which checks that from different areas, Spanish, biology, a little bit of I don't know, like from different things, And the second section is focused on math and engineering and technology. That's what it's called. But the second exam, which is made by my university, as I said, that one is just about math and physics, and that's what it evaluates. For studying my degree. But for other degrees, it changes. It varies because, they need to grade that some of the knowledge required for studying that degree, But you do have to do a lot of exams to get accepted. Some universities are well known for those exams because they are very hard. The most popular university here in Mexico, there are 2, UNAM. Yeah, exactly, yeah. And EIPM is just some university.
Where's that?
It's in Mexico.
Which state?
State of Mexico. Mexico City,
Okay.
somewhere there. it was one of my options. I mean, I kind of like was about to study there, but I decided not to
Wow. Yeah.
because of other.
Well,
other,
I'm glad you decided where. I'm glad you decided in Querétaro because
Yeah.
I love Querétaro. That was so beautiful. Also, I am a very proud alumni student of the University of
Oh
Guadalajara.
yeah. So she kind of knows how the process is like, even for taking a little class.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that my experience in Mexican university is exactly the same as yours because the University of Guadalajara has an exchange program with my home university, the University of Saskatchewan. So when I heard that there was a program in Mexico, I was like, okay, there's no way that I'm not gonna do this. So I went, and my classes were very small. In fact, I had one class where it was just me. And I had a couple other classes where I had a girl from India.
Oh yeah.
And I had like a couple people from the United States, and a lot of them had people from China, so it wasn't exactly like a typical Mexican class. When I envisioned being an exchange student, I thought that I would be like in a real university, like with real Mexican students, not just with other foreigners. But it still was the University of Guadalajara,
Yeah, I
and
know.
I took lots
Yeah.
of Spanish classes, so
It is an experience.
yeah.
But it was for you.
It was cool. Yeah. And I got to see Alan on the weekend, so
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a win-win situation. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, they didn't even finish explaining the process of
Oh,
studying
it's a
that
long
degree. We
process.
ended up talking about my state and
Sorry, keep
your
going.
experience in Guadalajara. No, it's totally fine. I mean, there's not a lot to say. I mean, just that it is so crazy it is to get to study a degree here. If you don't pass the exam, you're just like rejected, and you have to wait for the next exam. You know, maybe the next year, or if you have different options, you know, you just have to think about the distance, because the university you want to do is just far away from you. You need to look at the transportation, you know, and how many days you're gonna stay, because the university, the process for studying a degree here are just like so short. I mean, I'm trying to say that you don't even know how many days you have to stay there, because like you don't know if you're gonna get accepted or not. That's how it happened to me. No, I didn't even know if I was gonna get
But you
accepted,
did.
because after a week, I didn't even know if I was gonna be going to that school or not.
Oh
So
my
yeah, I mean,
gosh.
it is hard. It
That
is a little bit hard.
scary.
But yeah,
I have to say that the university, like the acceptance and admission and everything in Mexico is way more confusing there than it is
and
here.
not only
Even in
university,
the United States, well,
Any-
I mean,
any other
even
kind
in the
of
United States, it's more
paperwork. I mean, any other kind of
confusing.
thing you want to do here.
It all is.
Even with the
Well,
government, I
don't
mean, it is
that.
like
I have
that.
to admit, I don't like that.
But that is something
Yeah.
else.
Well, I mean, I love Mexico, but I am definitely glad that I didn't have to worry about that when I was applying to university, because in Canada, it's quite easy. All you have to do is get good grades in grade 11 and grade 12, and then your transcript, which is
Yeah.
like all of your grades, will be sent to the university that you are applying to, and if your grades are good enough, then you will get accepted into
mean,
university.
that's
So
just
that's
quicker,
what
you
happened
know?
with me. Yeah, it's a lot quicker. You don't need to write an entrance exam. That's like for direct entry colleges. I'm not sure what it's like in certain universities, but at least mine. Yeah, and certain programs are of course more difficult to get into than others, like engineering, of course, and they have different requirements.
Yeah.
But overall, it's pretty
You know,
simple.
I would say that method would better work here in Mexico, but no. I mean, from my point of view,
Yeah.
Canada has a way better method to prepare students before they get to university. Seriously, I mean, we could look at that.
Well,
We could look at the charts. We could look at just like at the numbers. Education in Canada is just better. So if your method was applied here in Mexico of just taking the grades of your last terms of high school, and that way you could enter a degree.
Would go to university.
Less young people here in Mexico would not be rejected. But no, because here education in high school prior to getting into university is just not the same, you know. It's not the same, and
it's different. Yeah.
It would be like less people rejected, yeah. But would they be well prepared to study any degree? So I mean, it's just like it is a question.
Well, I mean, I think your guys' entrance exams are way more difficult.
Yeah,
if we had that kind of system in Canada, I guarantee you, way less people would be studying. Like, so it just, I don't know. I think that it has benefits because you're going to make sure that students are actually prepared for the degree that they are going to go into with your country system. But with my country system, it just makes it so that university allows more people to go and it's not so much of a headache.
Even with those exams applied here, I mean, even with those exams that are, students have to take here in Mexico, when they get accepted, there are still some things not well learned, you know. When you get to take the classes at the university, it's just not the same. It's not the same. You realize that you lack in some knowledge. That's what I've seen here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there are pros and cons, I would say. Okay, so the next question is, how does a typical class go, notwithstanding COVID, of course? Like, avoid that prior to COVID.
Okay,
how did your classes go?
I'm going to speak for my university because, that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm not studying at any other university, so I cannot, talk for them. But I'm going to say that now that I heard your question, the first thing that came to my mind was just fun, you know, because what I love about going to school is just seeing my friends and learning, of course. Yeah, I love learning and all that kind of stuff, but just getting to see my friends is just make it just like it makes the experience more enjoyable, you know, because even when you're in class, you get to talk to them and just laugh at stuff. And I know it sounds ridiculous, it sounds like it doesn't sound like I'm mature enough, you know, but it is like that. Seriously, all classes are like that. There are times where you need to pay attention, yeah, of course, but even in class there are little moments when you make fun of something. But you get to enjoy going to school because of your friends and of your teachers too. But in classes, there are some times we're all paying attention, you know, because we all struggle. Right now that my group has been decreasing because some people just don't get to pass classes. My little group of students, my friends, just get to focus on classes a lot. We're paying attention. We're not getting distracted. When we used to go in person, you know, right now doing all this stuff digital, it's just different. It's all crazy and I hate it. But it is something like that.
No, I like to hear about that because for me, the experience is a lot different. Like, my closest friend that I gained in university is Alina, so hi Alina if you're listening. But I think that it's a lot more difficult to make friends in university here than it is where you study, because here my university is really big and there are some classes where there are about maybe 20 people, but there are some classes, and I've never had a class this big, but I did have one that was 300, but the largest is about 500 people. So I mean, now with Corona, that's hard to imagine 500 people in one room, but that's how it used to be, especially in classes like biology.
Your university is so huge, so big compared to mine.
Yeah. Plus, I think that from what I've gathered from everything you've told me, your group takes all of the same classes together, correct?
Well, It's been changing, and right now,
Okay.
universities are trying to be more flexible. Allowing students to choose their classes. If they want to do a greater class, I mean, like a class that is not it does not go according to your plan. You know what I mean? We call it plan. The
Yeah.
classes that you should be taking this month, the classes you need to be taking the next month, stuff like that. But it's not like that anymore. Now, if I wanted to, I could be taking classes from the last term, but I'm not gonna do that
Oh yeah.
because I need to take some classes before that to get the knowledge. But yeah,
Okay, like prerequisites.
I could take like one class ahead, or yeah, I could like not take one class that I'm supposed to be taking right now and just take it the next year or something like that. Could just take 4 classes, 3 classes. I'm gonna tell you something. Before I got accepted into my university, students needed to take 9 classes. 9 classes. That was a lot.
It's a lot.
And they had to just change that. It was crazy. It was totally crazy. And now they reduced that number to 6. And even
That's
with that
much
thing
better.
happening, you can take less classes than that. So yeah.
Oh, because of like everything being online?
No. They're just like changing the ways of
Oh, okay,
selecting
so that
classes.
was like, okay.
And you could totally just like
Just
take
regardless.
one class, but there's a limit. There's a limit to do your degree. In my case,
Yeah,
I'm
you
doing
don't wanna
my
take, like, 10
my
years.
degree is divided in 4 months each term, so I can only finish my degree up to I think 19 terms, 14. I don't even remember.
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah. There's a limit. I mean, you could totally take one class if you want in one term, but it's up to you. You're supposed to know what you're doing. So yeah. But what I do
Yeah.
is that I try to stick with the plan, and keep the group of people that I know. Otherwise, it's gonna be a little bit different. The groups change, and teachers change as well. By this I mean that there are some classes that are taken by people who didn't pass those classes. So if
Oh, like they can redo them?
they can totally redo
Okay.
them. Yeah, it's
That's good.
it's so hard to describe how it works here in Mexico, and it's
Yeah, it's
sometimes
very
it
confusing.
varies from university. It's just so different. But yeah, it is something like that. Hopefully you have a better idea.
Yeah, it's a lot different. I mean, you mentioned that your university is like broken up into terms, and sometimes, okay, Alan will be like, oh yeah, I have like 3 weeks off, and I'm like, why do you have 3 weeks off? I always get like so confused when he tells me he has like time off, because here, we start classes in September, and we take about 5 classes. 5 is usually the max. And we take them until December. So in December, those are usually when that is usually when we have our final exams. And then in January to April, that is the second term, and we have the rest of April all the way to August off, unless you want to take spring and summer classes like
Yeah.
what I did. But yeah, we have a lot more time off at once, whereas you have more time off broken up into smaller chunks.
Yeah, it is something like that, since my degree is divided in 4 months term. We get like short periods for vacations. Sometimes we only get 2 weeks or even 1 week, and it's getting shorter as you keep going. As you
does
keep going
it?
in your degree.
No, I don't like
No, I
this.
don't like that either. But it's required, and it's asked by your university to stay with them, to keep studying, to keep improving. There are some teams that represent my university. They do things with drones, with satellites, and those kind of stuff. Can satellites, I mean, not those kind of satellites that are up in space. We don't get to that point yet, but hopefully one day. But yeah.
Yet, I like that motivation.
Yeah, I belong to one of those teams, and at the end, as I keep going on with my degree, I will have to stay with them to keep working on those competitions that we apply to. And yeah, even with the university, if I need to do my social service that we call here, there's something called social service that we have to do. That's
Is that
something,
like volunteer?
yeah, it's like volunteering, yeah, but you need to go to like,
Oh.
you need to do something that is related to your degree so you can prepare for a work, like for a job.
That is so cool.
I mean, it does sound cool. You need to do some hours. There's a specific amount of hours that you need to have for social service. And yeah, that is something new that
So
I
for
guess I
example,
didn't know.
what are you gonna do?
I have no idea yet, because for that you need to wait. You need to have like half
Okay.
the amount of classes of your degree, something like that.
yes.
Yeah, and then you get
Yeah, I'm interested in
some
seeing that.
industries offer those social services spots, so you can apply it, and yeah.
Interesting. Oh, thank you. I like
Yeah.
hearing about that. I had no idea that you had to do volunteer work. That's interesting.
All right. Well, now let's just take a little break, and we're gonna come back in just some minutes. It's gonna be quick because we're gonna be editing the video or podcast.
Okay, yes.
All right, we're back.
And
We're back.
the next topic is, what are the popular degrees amongst your friends and in Mexico in
Last
general?
but not least.
Yes, the last one.
Okay, so yeah, the last topic we're gonna discuss is popular degrees. All right. Popular degrees. The first thing that comes to my mind, medicine. That's how we call it here, medicine. No, starting to become a doctor. That's what I would say. I mean, for what I see, a lot of people wants to study medicine. It's one of the degrees more requested for young people.
Really?
But I can say something else. Now there are some degrees that are somewhat new, and these degrees are like I could say like, well, what you know as computer science. But here it doesn't have that name, and it is a little bit different. Here we call it kind of like programming engineering.
My, that's a lot.
But it has something else, and it is considered new because it comes with the new technologies, Internet of Things, those kind of stuff, big data, big data, whatever you call it. But yeah, those are like the new degrees so far, and people seems to be interested in studying that. I mean, the young people is wanting to do those kind of stuff. Biomedics is one of the degrees that are becoming very popular, and because you could apply, electronics and biology stuff,
it's the
like
best of
human
both
stuff.
worlds for those who like studying both things. Yeah, I've never heard of that, but I'm sure there are degrees like that offered or in other universities.
Yeah, no, and a lot of people like to study law as well.
Yeah, law.
Yeah, like as my sister wants to do something like that, law.
How
And
popular is veterinarian courses?
Well, to be honest, it is not a lot popular, but it is necessary.
Yeah, I
It
was
is
just wondering.
too necessary
because my sister wants to do that.
No, yeah. But here in Mexico, Mexico is a huge country, but with a lot of biodiversity, and we do need those kind of people,
Exactly. It's important.
It really takes care of those animals and know how to take care of them. And it is not something easy. When I look at pets, they are old.
No, it's sad.
And what I can see is that there's no people studying that.
Really?
Where's the young people doing those kind of
Wow,
stuff?
here
Yeah.
it's the opposite.
But,
It's one of the
I
most
might be wrong.
competitive
Because
programs. Well, yeah, you're just going off what
Yeah,
you
but-
know. It's not like your university has veterinarian.
Yeah, I know, because it's
stuff,
not
yeah.
like I go out every single
Yeah.
day to all the states around Mexico just to see if bats are around, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, but I just thought I'd ask anyway.
But yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
there are some degrees that are discriminated. I
Like
could
what? Like with ones that aren't popular? And like they're like kind of looked down upon?
Yeah, there are and bad 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 comes in that in that list. But there's another one. I would say industrial engineering. I don't know if you've heard that one.
I feel like I've heard of it, but I don't know exactly what you do.
Industrial or industry engineering.
What
I
do you
mean,
do?
it is something dull.
Oh.
Seriously, it is something not necessary anymore. Because what I think, I consider that it is something it comes with the rest of engineering nowadays. Industrial engineering, that's what we call it here in Mexico. Basically what it does is that it studies the processes for industries, like how do you call them, like industry, like all the process. We want to create something like shoe factory or
that kind
whatever
of stuff,
factory,
yeah.
those kind of process.
No, thank you.
But it is but it is not considered necessary anymore.
Everything is
Because
just changing.
it is something that the rest of engineering need to know.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if you want to have your own business, you need in some way to have your own little factory. So you need to know a little bit of those kind of process.
Interesting.
I mean, I could be saying things wrong, but
No, I think it's interesting to
that's
hear
what
your
I think.
opinion.
and it is really discriminated. I mean, people don't like it. People just say bad things about it, but yeah, there's still people doing that.
Well, I mean, good for
I mean,
them if they
it
see
is
the
useful.
need in it. I mean, that's not to say.
Yeah,
I mean, a
I mean-
lot of people think that my degree could be useless as well. It just depends on what you want to do
No,
with
no,
it.
not at all. I mean, there's no degree that is considered that is.
Well,
not
yeah,
useful,
any education is better than no education at all.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
Yeah.
Totally.
no, I think it's really interesting, and I appreciate getting to hear your thoughts on university in Mexico. It gave me a lot of
Yeah.
insight, even though I've known you
Thank
for
you
so
so much.
long. I learned a lot as well, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's very interesting. So, thank you very much.
Yeah. Well. No. Yeah. Thank you, and thank you
Yes,
all
for
for
listening.
listening to this podcast or watching us on YouTube. It is really nice for us doing this, and yeah, we want you to give us feedback. I mean, I had a friend that I have a friend that I said that I needed a microphone, so I was like, okay, well, I need to get it. It is an investment. I'm gonna do that. So yeah, so I had a chance to get a microphone, and yeah, those kind of stuff, things that help us improve. If you have any more ideas, any other topics that you'd like us to
Let us
discuss,
know.
yes, let us know. And yeah,
Yeah, this is
you
all
have
new
so
to
many
us.
options to hear us and see us.
Yes, exactly. Well,
Yeah, follow us on our social media as well.
Do it.
Share. And yeah.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much,
We really
guys.
appreciate it. And stay tuned for
Yeah.
our third episode, mystery topic. It is
Yeah.
Alan's choice.
Bye. Yeah, it is my turn. It'll be
I'm
my
excited
turn.
to see. I don't know what it is yet either. But anyway, that's all for today. So thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.